Rich grew up in Colorado. He graduated from Golden High School and then from the University of Colorado. His childhood experiences in the Colorado mountains made him a fierce champion for wise stewardship of the natural world, and he devoted most of his professional life to pursuing that goal. After earning a PhD in natural resource economics from the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, he was employed as a senior staff member in the Office of Policy Analysis at the U.S. Department of the Interior, specializing in federal water policy. This led to the publication of his well-received book, Markets for Federal Water, Subsidies, Property Rights, and the Bureau of Reclamation. He and I met in a whitewater canoeing class on the Potomac. He signed up for it because he was hoping to meet a woman who loved the outdoors as passionately as he did. I signed up for it because my life at the time was in such flaming ruins that I needed to try something utterly different from anything I had ever done before. We ended up getting married 3 years later in an outdoor ceremony at Great Falls National Park, overlooking the site of the class that had brought us together. Once Christopher and Gregory were born, Rich yearned to return to Colorado to raise his boys near the mountains he loved so deeply. And so we moved from Tacoma Park, Maryland to Boulder in 1992. Here, Rich engaged in consulting work for various organizations involved in Western water policy and became an ardent advocate for protection of unspoiled lands from commercial development and motorized recreation. There were 2 projects in particular that he pursued with single-minded intensity, each one for years. The first was to block the construction of the proposed Jefferson Center. Many of you, or some of you may remember having heard about this. It was to have been a huge, sprawling commercial, retail, and residential complex built at the intersection of Highway 93 and Highway 72 at the base of Coal Creek Canyon. A hideous and environmentally devastating desecration of that magnificent stretch of land. Years of working under both Democratic and Republican administrations in the Interior Department had taught Rich skills for behind-the-scenes negotiations to achieve results for which he personally would never seek nor receive recognition. It was his idea, it was his brainchild to work to convince Boulder County to purchase that expanse of land in Jefferson County, to save it as protected open space for generations to come. This is exactly what happened, and he actually did receive an award as Sierra Club Volunteer of the Year for his efforts. So when you drive from Boulder to Golden or up Coal Creek Canyon, please savor that view and remember the man who did so much to save it. His second mission was to preserve the troublesome area of the Route National Forest near Granby from motorized recreation and its noise, pollution, and terrorization of the native creatures who called it their home. That was where we had most of our family backpacking trips. Christopher fondly remembers Sheep Mountain and Arapahoe Ridge. The trail Rich loved best was Trail 1135, and that was the trail he strove so valiantly to protect. With almost crackpot-like obsessive photographing of trail damage caused by motorbikes, as well as massive amounts of time spent using his training as a natural resource economist to prepare voluminous documents on environmental impacts of motorized recreation during various planning initiatives for the Route National Forest. I love that he could care about something so small, so insignificant in the scheme of all the world's more urgent woes. Just protecting one trail, just a few miles of quiet, beautiful forest, and their otherwise unnoticed inhabitants. So much effort to save something so tiny. But I'll close with a reminder that this is how God loves. God's eye is on the sparrow, and not one falls from the sky, but by his will. And so we might think that is how he wants us to love. And it's how Rich loved the world that God made. The boys and I will scatter his ashes along Trail 1135 this summer. Thank you. I almost got through it without crying. I knew the last sentence would slay me, but thank you for giving me this chance to share this.